I knelt there, Silas Hawthorne, 28 and already feeling like a relic, my fingers tracing the engraved name on the headstone. Elias Hawthorne, star of silver screens, 1925 to 2023. But it wasn't grief that choked me. It was the letter tucked in my coat pocket, its wax seal unbroken, whispering secrets that could unravel everything. To my grandson, it began in his looping script. The legacy I hid will be yours, if you can bear its weight without breaking. I ripped it open right there, ink smudging under the downpour, and read the words that hit like a director's cut to the gut. Claim the Hawthorne fortune, the unpublished scripts, the hidden reels of my truth, but only if you marry a woman by your 30th birthday. Uphold the facade I wore for decades, or let it all burn. My heart slammed against my ribs. Grandpa Elias, the golden boy of old Hollywood, the man who'd charmed audiences as the brooding leading man in Shadows of Desire and Midnight Confessions, had been gay. Everyone whispered it in the tabloids back in the 50s. Affairs with co-stars, coded love letters, but he'd played straight to the end, marrying my grandmother in a sham that birthed my father and, eventually, me. Now, from beyond the grave, he was forcing me to dance the same lie. I crumpled the paper, my knees sinking into the sodden earth. How could he? I'd come out at 18, right after Dad's funeral. Cancer, quick and cruel. Telling Mom I couldn't live half a life like he had. She'd hugged me tight in our cramped Echo Park bungalow, whispering, "Then don't, baby, be whole." But Elias? He'd sent checks from his Malibu estate, never visited, always that distant smile in holiday cards. And Nathaniel. God, Nathaniel. My anchor, my fire. We'd met 2 years ago at a queer film festival in West Hollywood. Him screening his doc on forgotten LGBTQ+ icons. Tall, with skin like polished mahogany and eyes that saw through every script I hid behind as a struggling screenwriter. Last night, tangled in our sheets in his Silver Lake apartment, he'd murmured, "You're my leading man, Silas. No takes. Now this? Pretend straight?" It would gut us both. By the time I stumbled to my beat-up Honda, the storm had eased to a drizzle, LA's eternal smog mixing with petrichor. My phone buzzed. "Nathaniel. Where are you? Will readings in an hour. Love you." I typed back, "Be there soon. Miss you already." Lies by omission. The lawyer's office was in Century City, all glass and chrome, a far cry from the faded glamour of Elias's era. I arrived soaked, drawing stares from the suited vultures circling the conference room. Aunt Lydia, Dad's sister, her Botox-smooth face twisted in perpetual suspicion. Cousin Trent, the trust fund leech who'd blown his share on crypto scams, and Mr. Hargrove, the family attorney, polishing his glasses like he was prepping for a crucifixion. "Silas, dear," Lydia cooed as I slid into my seat. "You look like you've seen a ghost." Elias always did love his dramatics. She was the keeper of the flame, or so she thought, curating Elias's official biography, scrubbing out the rumors of his liaisons with bit players and set designers. Trent smirked, scrolling his phone, probably live-tweeting the affair for his pathetic influencer gig. Hargrove cleared his throat, unfolding the will with the flourish of a bad soap opera. Elias Hawthorne, in sound mind, bequeaths the bulk of his estate, valued at $12 million, including the Malibu property, residuals from his films, and a vault of unpublished materials, to his grandson Silas James Hawthorne. Gasps rippled. Lydia's hand flew to her pearls. Trent dropped his phone. Me? I gripped the table, the letter burning a hole in my pocket. "But," Hargrove continued, his voice dropping like a plot twist, "with conditions. Silas must demonstrate commitment to the Hawthorne legacy by entering into a traditional marriage, a union with a woman, within the next 18 months. Proof required. A legally binding ceremony. Failure to comply, and the estate reverts to the family trust, divided equally among Elias's surviving relatives." The room exploded. Lydia shrieked, "This is outrageous. Elias was a pillar of American values." Trent laughed, a hyena's bark. "Straight? Ha! Silas, you gonna dust off that ex from college?" I sat frozen, the air thick with their venom. Traditional marriage. The words clawed at me. Elias's life flashed in my mind. Not the red carpets, but the black and white photos I'd found in his attic last summer. Him with a young stuntman, arms linked under studio lights, eyes locked in a gaze too tender for the screen. He'd buried it all for fame, for family, for survival in a world that would have crucified him otherwise. And now he was handing me the same poison chalice. I bolted from the room, Hargrove calling after me. In the elevator, I punched the wall, knuckles splitting. Why? To test me? To force me into the closet he died regretting? My phone lit up again. Nathaniel. Everything okay? I'm outside. I stepped into the lobby, and there he was, leaning against his vintage Mustang, all effortless cool in jeans and a faded Ramones tee, his locks tied back. He straightened, concern etching his brow. Silas? Talk to me. I pulled him into a hug, burying my face in his neck, inhaling the scent of sandalwood and rain. Not here, I whispered. We drove in silence to Griffith Park, the city sprawling below like a glittering trap. Parked on a overlook, the observatory's dome glowing in the twilight. I spilled it all, the will, the condition, the ghost of Elias demanding I betray myself. Nathaniel listened, his hands steady on mine, thumb tracing circles that usually calmed the storm in my chest. But tonight they felt like countdown ticks. You're not doing it, he said finally, voice low and fierce. Screw the money. We build our own legacy. Your scripts, my films, we don't need his ghosts. But it's not just money, I choked out. It's his truth. The vault, letters, films, proof he loved men like us. If I don't claim it, Lydia will burn it. Erase him all over again. Elias had been my North Star from afar, the reason I chased stories of hidden loves in Hollywood's underbelly. My latest script, Veiled Lights, was about a closeted actor in the 40s, ripped from his margins. Without the inheritance, I'd lose the down payment on that indie production deal I'd scraped together. Lose everything. Nathaniel cupped my face, his dark eyes searching mine. Then fight smart. Fake it. Find some actress friend. Stage a wedding for the lawyers. We know the drill. Hollywood's built on illusions. I laughed, bitter and broken. Pretend? That's the betrayal, Nate. To you, to me, to him. But as the sun dipped, painting the sky in bruised purples, I felt the pull. The legacy, the love, and the lie that could save it all or destroy us. We drove back to Silver Lake as night fell, the freeways humming with oblivious Angelinos. Nathaniel's apartment was our sanctuary. Posters of Brokeback Mountain and Moonlight peeling at the edges. A battered typewriter on the desk where I'd pound out scenes till dawn. He cooked. Vegan tacos, his specialty, while I paced, the letter mocking me from the counter. What if I say yes? I asked, plating the food. To the pretense. Just till the ink dries. He paused, spatula midair, hurt flickering before he masked it. And then, you waltz back, say cut, and we're good? Silas, I've seen docs on guys like your grandpa. The mask sticks. It suffocates. We ate on the couch, his head on my shoulder, the TV murmuring an old Elias flick, Eternal Echoes, where he played a war hero hiding a forbidden romance with his sergeant. The subtext was thicker than the plot. Halfway through, Nathaniel kissed me slow, hands roaming with that quiet urgency that always unraveled me. Whatever you choose, he breathed against my lips. I'm here, but don't lose us in the real. Sleep came fitful, dreams of spotlights and shattered reels. Morning brought coffee and clarity, or the illusion of it. I called Hargrove, voice steady. Tell me the fine print. How do I prove this? Marriage? He droned on about affidavits, witnesses, no cohabitation clauses. Fine. I'd do it. Find a proxy bride, someone from the theater scene, in on the con. Claim the vault, expose Elias's story my way, then burn the bridges. But first, research. Elias's life was a locked set, and I had the key now. I drove to the Margaret Herrick Library in Beverly Hills, archives of Tinseltown's sins and glories. The curator, a wry septuagenarian named Ms. Patel, unlocked the Hawthorne file. Press clippings yellowed with time, fan mail laced with coded pleas from admirers. One photo stopped me cold, Elias, 1952, arm around a co-star on the Desire set, but his eyes drifted to a background extra. a lithe man with my own jawline. Grandpa's secret lover? The resemblance hit like vertigo. Miss Patel leaned in. He was brilliant, Elias. But the studio system, it demanded perfection. No cracks. She slid over a dossier. Rumors of a 40s affair with director Vincent Lyle, hushed up with payoffs. If your family dig deeper, the real stories are in the negatives. Home. Nathaniel's place felt more mine now. I spread the papers on the floor, piecing Elias's puzzle. A letter, and signed. My darling E, the camera lies, but you never did. Meet me at the sign, midnight.
Forever yours, V. Vincent.
The director who'd vanished after a scandal. Body fished from the Pacific in '55. Suicide, they said. Or cover-up. Nathaniel got home late, smelling of edit bays and takeout. He dropped to his knees amid the mess, reading aloud in that velvet baritone. This is gold, see. Your movie. But when he reached the marriage clause copy I'd annotated, his voice cracked. You're really doing it. Not forever, I promised, pulling him close. Just the act. For the truth. Lies tasted like ash. That night, as we lay awake, his back to me, the chasm widened. How many takes before the scene broke? Weeks blurred into a frenzy. I pitched veiled lights to a producer in Culver City. The vault's promise sealing the deal, $50K advance if I delivered Elias's artifacts. Nathaniel buried himself in his dock, interviewing aging queer extras who'd brushed Elias's orbit. He was kind, one said on tape, voice warbling. Slipped me a role after. Well, after hours. Subtext again. Always subtext. Then the betrayal first crack. Lydia cornered me at a family brunch in Pasadena. Her eyes serpents. Silas, darling, rethink this farce. Marry sweet Emily from church. She's perfect. Or The Inheritance. Poof. Emily, mousy, devout. Her idea of romance Hallmark cards. I'd known her since kid days. She'd always eyed me with pity. It's not a farce, I lied, sipping mimosa. It's Tradition. She smiled, victory. Good boy. Elias would be proud. Proud? The word curdled. That afternoon, I met Emily at a cafe in Brentwood. Palms slick. It's pretend, I explained over lattes. Papers only. You'll get 10% of whatever settles. She blushed, twisting her napkin. For the family? Okay. But Silas, are you sure? I mean about, my queerness, the elephant. I'm sure, I said, hating the script. Nathaniel found out over dinner. Me confessing, him pushing away his plate. Emily? The one who quotes Bible verses at pride parades. His laugh was hollow. This is your plan? Parading her while we. It's business. I snapped, voice echoing in the tiny kitchen. For us, for the stories we tell. He stood, chair scraping. No, si. It's erasure. Starting with me. The door slammed. First fracture. I chased him into the hall, but he was gone. Taillights vanishing into the night. Alone, I cracked open a hidden reel from the vault, early access via Hargrove. Grainy 16 millimeters. Elias, young and luminous, kissing a man in a moonlit bungalow. No sound, but the passion screamed. Cut to Elias alone, staring at the camera, tears silent. For the dream, he mouthed. I sobbed, the lie heavier than ever. The engagement announcement hit like a bad cut. Lydia leaking it to Variety before I could breathe. Hawthorne heir to wed in wholesome nuptials. Honoring legacy. Comments flooded my feeds. Heart emojis from strangers, knives from trolls. Finally, a straight arrow in the family. Nathaniel went radio silent, his last text a curt congrats. I drove to his studio in Atwater Village at dawn. Pounding the door till he yanked it open, eyes bloodshot. Fresh script pages crumpled in his fist. Go home, Silas, he growled, but I pushed past. The air thick with stale coffee and regret. His edit bay hummed. Screens frozen on grainy footage of a '50s Pride March, tiny, defiant. This is home, I said, voice breaking. You, us. He slumped into his chair, rubbing temples. Then why does it feel like you're directing a tragedy without me? We talked or fought. For hours, words tumbling like exposed negatives. I confessed the vault's pull. Not just cash, but Elias's lost reels. Scripts he'd penned under pseudonyms about lovers parted by spotlights. It's our history, Nate.
Yours, mine.
If I don't claim it, who will? He softened, just a fraction, pulling me onto his lap. I get it, but this wedding, it's a grenade. Pull the pin and boom, trust gone. His kiss was tentative, then fierce, a reclaiming. We made promises in whispers. After the ceremony, annulment swift as a fade-out. Partners, he said. In reals and real life. Emily proved easier than expected. Rehearsing vows like lines in a play, her nervousness mirroring mine. We dated publicly. Brunches in Santa Monica, her hand light on my arm for paparazzi. Privately, Nathaniel shadowed us. A ghost in the wings. One night, post-date, I slipped to his place, finding him with a bottle of bourbon and Elias's biography. Lydia's sanitized version. Read this, he slurred. Page marked. Elias wed for stability, siring the line that endures. Stability. Code for cage. I snatched the book, hurling it. I'm not him. This ends in months. But doubt gnawed. Rehearsals with Emily unearthed old wounds. Her confessing a crush from youth. Me dodging with half-truths. You'll make a fine husband, she said one afternoon in a wedding gown shop, lace swishing like accusations. I forced a smile, texting Nathaniel under the table. Save me. The bachelor party was Trent's idea, a Vegas detour. For the boys. I went, dreading, Nathaniel's blessing a terse don't do anything stupid. The strip glittered, a fever dream of excess. But Trent's crew was vultures. Shots lined up, strippers circling. To straight Silas. Trent toasted, sloshing whiskey. I nursed mine. Mind on the vault key Hargrove had couriered. Brass, heavy with ghosts. Slipping away to the hotel balcony, I called Nathaniel. Miss you. This is hell. His voice, warm through static. Come home. We watch Philadelphia or something cheesy. Popcorn mandatory. Laughter cracked the tension. But then Trent burst out, phone in hand. Yo, Silas. Pick for the gram. Fiancé vibes. He snapped before I could react. Me mid-call, earpiece visible. Posted. Groom-to-be spilling secrets? Nah, just bro time. Hawthorne wedding. By morning, it was viral, zoom-ins on Nathaniel's contact photo, my wallpaper of us at Joshua Tree. Speculation erupted. Is Silas playing both sides? Lydia called, fury incarnate. Fix this, or the will's contested. Now. Trent feigned innocence, but his smirk screamed setup. Betrayal kin deep. I confronted him in the casino lobby, slots chiming mockery. You knew. The photo, why? He shrugged, lighting a cig. Family first, cuz. Your phase? It's a glitch. Elias built an empire on clean images. Don't glitch it up. Phase. The word ignited something primal. I shoved him, security swarming. Back in LA, bruises blooming, I crashed at Emily's. Platonic couch exile. She brewed tea, maternal. Families, she sighed. They cut deepest. Nathaniel met me at Runyon Canyon trailhead next dawn. Sun cresting the hills like a reluctant cue. We hiked in silence, dust kicking up memories. Our first date here, racing to the top, collapsing in laughter. At the overlook, city sprawled vulnerable below, he stopped. Saw the post, the comments. They called you a fraud. Said you're using her for the cash. I'm not. I started, but he held up a hand. And me? Your dirty secret. Pain laced his words, raw as exposed film. Silas, I can't be the subplot anymore. You're the whole damn story. I grabbed his shirt, pulling him close, the world blurring. Trent's poison, Lydia's greed. But us? That's the truth. Elias died hiding. We kissed there, fierce against the wind, hikers averting eyes. But as we descended, his phone buzzed. A contact, Agent Ruiz. He silenced it, but the seed planted, distance growing. The vault arrived mid-July, crated to my temp rental in Los Feliz. I cracked it alone, Nathaniel busy with shoots. Inside, leather journals, brittle as autumn leaves. Elias's hand, 1947. Vincent's laugh echoes in the rushes. If only the audience could hear it. Reels and tins, forbidden frames. A short he directed in secret. 2 men dancing in a speakeasy. Joy unscripted. A letter to my dad. Undelivered. Son, I failed you by failing myself. Let Silas know. Love isn't the villain. Hiding is. Tears blurred the ink. This was gold humanity in celluloid. I screened forbidden on my laptop. Shadows dancing on walls. Elias, 22, vulnerable, alive. The final frame. Him and Vincent, foreheads touching, fade to black. I called Nathaniel, voice thick. You have to see this. All of us. He came hesitant, bourbon on his breath. We watched in the dark, his hand finding mine midway. Beautiful, he whispered. Tragic. After tangled on the futon, barriers crumbled. I love you, I said. The words a vow truer than any to Emily. No more masks. But dawn brought Lydia's ambush. Process server at the door. Papers citing moral turpitude to challenge the will. Your indiscretions. The filing sneered. Attaching Trent's photo. Anonymous tips of my deviancy. Court date. September. Wedding slotted for August to preempt. Panic Claude. Emily panicked too, calling tearful. I can't testify, Silas. It's wrong. Nathaniel stepped up then. Fierce protector. We fight, he declared over takeout foe in Koreatown. Leak the vault. Show the world Elias's truth. Force their hand. His doc crew could digitize, anonymize till judgment. But risk. If contested successfully, all lost. And him exposed as my lover in affidavits. You're sure? I asked. Chopsticks paused. His grin, lopsided. For history? For you? Hell yes. We spent the night plotting, laughter bubbling amid fear. But mid-kiss, his phone lit. Ruiz. Offer from Sundance solo project. Congrats? He dismissed it, but I saw the spark. Ambition, timing cruel. August sweltered, wedding week a pressure cooker. Rehearsal dinner at the Malibu estate. Elias's ghost everywhere. Oscars on mantles, portraits staring. Lydia preened. Trent smirked from corners. Emily shone in ivory, me in tux like a corpse. Nathaniel wasn't invited. Business associate. I lied, but he texted fire. Break a leg, or the whole charade. The ceremony loomed, Pacific crashing below like applause. Eve of, I drove to the Hollywood sign, that sacred scar on the hills. Nathaniel met me there, blanket and thermos of spiked cocoa. We sat, stars pricking the smog. City lights a sea of secrets. Remember our first festival? He murmured. You pitched veiled, I called bullshit on the ending. Too neat. I chuckled, throat tight. You were right. Heroes don't always win the girl. Sometimes they choose the boy. Silence stretched, heavy. Then Nate. After tomorrow it's done. Annulment papers signed. He turned, eyes shadowed. And if the judge rules against? You walk away rich, straight-washed. I get to be the footnote. No. But he cut me, voice fracturing. I got the Sundance nod. Solo. Means leaving LA for a bit. Research in New York. Queer archives. No Hawthorne drama. Betrayal, soft-edged. Not malice, but self-preservation. I love you, see? But I can't wait in the wings forever. The words landed like rain on parched earth. Necessary, nourishing, devastating. I pulled him close, our silhouettes against the sign's glow.
Go, he whispered.
Be brilliant. I'll claim this, end the lie. Then find you. He nodded, tears unshed. Promise. Script's honor. We made love under the stars, slow and sacred. No cameras. Dawn broke, and he drove away, taillights fading like a cut scene. The wedding was farce perfected. Vows exchanged on the bluff, waves applauding. Emily's hand trembled in mine. Lydia beamed. Trent filmed for clout. I do, I said, voice hollow. Photos snapped, cake cut, white lies all. That night, alone in the master suite, Elias's ring heavy on my finger, borrowed prop, I wept. Not for the con, but for Nathaniel's absence, a hollow in my chest. September's hearing was a circus. Beverly Hills courthouse, reporters swarming. Lydia's lawyer, slick as oil, paraded evidence. Dr. Chats paid whispers of my promiscuity. Mr. Hawthorne's lifestyle undermines the testator's values, he intoned. Trent testified, glee undisguised. Silas always marched to his own
Drum.
not family rhythm. My turn. Heart pounding, I took the stand, Hargrove beside. Elias wanted legacy, I said, voice steady. Not facades. This. I slid the vault excerpts across, forbidden frames cued on a projector. The reel spun, Elias and Vincent, dancing free. Gasps rippled. Judge's brow furrowed. Lydia lunged. Fabrications. Slander. But the tape rolled, truth unspooling. He hid for survival, I continued, eyes on her. I won't. The marriage? A nod to his pain. But love? That's mine. Cheers from the back. Nathaniel, slipping in late, his nod my lifeline. Recess called. In the hall, he gripped my arm. Needed to see it. You're a force, see.
Kis stolen, kuick silver. Verdict, mine.
Will upheld. Conditions met in spirit. Lydia stormed out, Trent trailing. Victory tasted bittersweet. Elias's fortune wired. Vault cleared for release. But as confetti fell in my mind's eye, Nathaniel's cab idled outside. New York calls, he said, duffel slung. Join when you're free. I hugged him fierce. 2 months. Script done. Premiere planned. He left, and LA felt vast, empty. October's chill crept into LA's bones. Unnatural for the city of eternal summer. I annulled with Emily over coffee, hugs, no hard feelings, her check cashed quietly. You were brave, she said, eyes kind, faking it to make it right. The papers filed. I moved back to Silver Lake, Nathaniel's apartment echoing without him. His texts from the East Village, archives gold. Miss your chaos. Mine, chaos contained. Premiere invite incoming. The vault became my war room, digitizing reels with a crew of queer archivists, voices hushed with reverence. Forbidden frames restored, colors vivid, score swelling. Elias's journals transcribed, confessions of bar crawls in WeHo dives, lovers lost to McCarthy purges. I played the hero, one red, but villains wore the crowns. I wove it into veiled lights, script evolving. My closeted actor now chose exile over erasure, boarding a train east with his sergeant, horizon open. Producers buzzed, Sundance scouts circled. But nights, sleepless, scrolling Nathaniel's Insta, clips from his doc, him laughing with collaborators, locks dusted in autumn leaves. Jealousy? No. Pride, laced with ache. Calls stretched. Tell me about the city, I'd say. Tell me you love me, he'd reply. Bridges held, but winds howled. Thanksgiving loomed, family fractured. Lydia sent a cease and desist, suing over defamation via the vault. Trent amplified online. Cancel Silas, twisting Elias into a saint I'd slain. Reporters hounded. Was it all a ploy for queer propaganda? I dodged, focusing on the premiere invite. Veiled lights at Outfest, June. Nathaniel's flight booked. But Betrayal's second act struck December. Hargrove's call, voice grave, leak. Someone sold Elias's private letters to a rag. National Enquirer. Hollywood heartthrobs torrid trysts. Grandson cashes in on shame. Pages scanned. Elias's rawest your touch undoes me. If only the world allowed encores. Twisted with headlines. Pervert pedigree? I knew the hand. Trent's watermark faint on the PDFs. Rage boiled. I drove to his WeHo crash pad, pounding till he opened, hung over haze. You bastard, I snarled, shoving the printout. For what? Likes? Clicks. He leaned on the jam, smug fading. Families broke, see. Lydia's cut me off. This?
Paybill.
But eyes darted, guilt? Elias was poison, hiding us all in his closet. Us. The word hung. Trent straightened, mask slipping. Yeah, me too. Always knew. Dad whispered it, Elias's friend visiting sets. Thought it'd bond us. But you parade it. Empathy cracked my fury. Trent. You're gay? Bi? Whatever. Doesn't matter. World chews us up. He deflated, inviting me in, cluttered with drag Polaroids, hidden life. We talked, raw, his closeted hookups, fear of mom's church. Sold them to hurt you. Backfired. Huh. I left with a truce. Testify against Lydia's suit. Retract the leak. Choose light, I said at the door. Not shadows. He nodded, tentative. Christmas. Solo string lights mocking. Nathaniel FaceTimed from a snowy stoop, breath fogging. Mary, love. Got you something, Elias negative, pulled from MoMA. A kiss blown, then see. The docks blowing up. Festival invites. Might extend. My stomach dropped. How long? Indefinite. Hesitant. This is my shot. Like yours. I swallowed shards. Congrats. Just us. Always. But pixels lied. January thawed nothing. Lawsuit dragged. Therapy unearthed Elias's echo in me. Fear of abandonment. Dad's ghost too. You're enough, my shrink said, non-binary and unflinching. Legacy's what you build, not inherit. February premiere loomed, not Outfest, but a test screening in NoHo. I invited Nathaniel. He sent regrets. Berlin Film Fest. Kill it for us. Alone in the theater, veiled lights unspooled. My actor, mirrors shattering, choosing love's messy reel. Audience wept, applauded. Q&A. Inspired by family, I said. A man who hid, but taught me to shine. Post-screen, buzz electric, distribution whispers. But hollow. I drove to the sign again, rain lashing that night Nathaniel and I had clung. Slipped on the mud, tumbling to knees, sobbing into the storm. Why fight for ghosts when the living slipped away? March, verdict on the suit. Lydia's dismissed. Her assets frozen for bad faith. Trent recanted publicly, viral apology. I was wrong. Family's queerness is strength. He moved east, chasing theater. Redemption, fragile. Nathaniel returned mid-April. Airport reunion a reel of its own. Hug crushing, kiss devouring. Missed you, he growled into my neck. Silver Lake welcomed. Tacos, forbidden frame screening, bodies rediscovering. Watched your test cut online, he said after, fingers tracing my spine. Ending wrecked me. He chooses the train, freedom. Like you almost didn't, I teased, but truth lingered. May deepen the rift. His doc premiered at Tribeca. Raves. Deals.
Mine greenlit for fall.
But schedules clashed, him to Ken, me to location scouts in the desert. Fights brewed. Missed calls, accusations veiled as jokes. You're drifting, I said one night, static crackling. You're anchoring, he shot back. To what? A city that chews dreamers. June's Outfest. Veiled Lights headliner. I dedicated it to Elias Nathaniel via video, grainy, but his smile lit the stage. Post-screen riot. Standing ovation, tears communal. Backstage, producers offer. Relocate to Atlanta? Tax breaks. I hesitated. Nathaniel's text. Proud. But Atlanta? South's no place for us. The climax crashed July 4th, Independence irony. Fireworks boomed over the marina as we picnicked, bottles clinking. I took the Atlanta gig, I blurted. 6 months. Then reassess. His face shuddered. Reassess us? Build bigger. For the stories. But his silence screamed. We fought under exploding skies. You chose legacy over love, he yelled. Just like him. And you? Sundance to Berlin. Running. Rain joined the fireworks, drenching. He grabbed my collar. I love you, Silas. But love isn't chains. If it's pretend, it's not. I roared. You're my end credit. Always. Thunder clapped. We collapsed, kissing in the mud, desperation raw. Stay, I begged. Or take me. Dawn he chose. New York full-time. Doc series greenlit.
Come.
Co-write. My heart fractured, LA my blood. But him? Oxygen. Give me till fall. Wrap the chute. He nodded, eyes storm-worn. No more delays. Flight that night. Goodbye at LAX, a gut punch. His hand lingering on glass as Gates swallowed him. Fall production. Deserts baked secrets into veiled. I poured us in, the actor's lover, steadfast till the end. Rap party. Toasts to dreams. But mine? Fractured real. November 29th, current date, skies bruised. I stood at Elias's grave again, restored headstone gleaming. Vault stories published. The Hawthorne Closet, bestseller. Lydia reconciled. Tea in Malibu. He'd be proud. Nephew. Trent visited, out and thriving off-Broadway. Phone buzzed. Nathaniel. Train leaving pen. Your script pages? Love you. Choose. I traced the stone. Elias Hawthorne, lover, artist, free. Legacy wasn't gold. It was this truth etched, unerasable. I texted, on my way. No more takes. Honda keys in hand. Eastbound on the 10. Hollywood shrinking rear view. Betrayal's scars faded. Love's plot twisted on. Not happy ever after, but human, messy, enduring. The sign winked farewell and I smiled. Cut.
Roll credits.